Okay, it's 1:10. We'll come out of recess. And we'll call the meeting back to order in regular session. My iPad updated while we went and ate, so everything's still there. I think the first thing we'll do is we'll go back into executive session for, is that all right? Okay, I want to go back in executive session to discuss non-elected personnel. Yeah, anyway, I'd like to go back in the executive session for 10 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel with the 3 commissioners and the county clerk present. There a second?
I'll second that.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carried. That I'm sorry. Okay, turn it back on.
That started flashing, so that's why I turned it all the way up.
So 2026 proposed budgets, we had that meeting on Friday, had our cheat sheet here, we went through it. I made a lot of notes. We're not making much progress. Some of the things I looked at, I thought, I appreciate making some changes, but when we're talking about $5,000 or $6,000 even, it seems insincere. Now, we're gonna continue to do it. But be nice to find something bigger. So in the county commissioner's budget, I know there's a little contention there. I had 713,515 for a total. Now, $150,000 of that, 150,000 is for unforeseen building expenses. So that's not money we're gonna spend necessarily. That's just kind of just in case. I mean, that's right, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, so what I'm saying is if we don't spend that money, which we're gonna do our best not to, and I don't know what we would do if the elevator's not gonna break and we don't need a roof. It's not like we're gonna paint or put new carpet in for 150,000. I mean, what is the unforeseen? Is it heating and air?
Yes, heating and air, but you also have where we dropped the budget a lot, you're in where we settle out this year, I mean, just added 30 to 40,000 for the county council, is gonna come out of our, gonna be new coming out of our 30 or 40,000.
Well, we hadn't done that yet.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, so that can be already cut down by.
Sure. So what I was hoping was, and I'm not one to make a change, but in the effort of this budget, to try and minimize expense, be more efficient and build some, we weren't planning on building any cash in next year's budget. But if we happen not to spend all that building improvement, in reality, that might be where we net zero. Instead of being 70,000 behind, if we spend every other dollar, maybe actually we're gonna be. We're actually, have zero. So that's just. Like I said, when I'm home at night and I'm trying to sleep, but I'm still thinking about budgets, that popped in my head. And it's because we budgeted for it, doesn't mean we have.
That was a big problem, I'm sure. People think it's worth doing, you have to spend it, you're gonna get hit.
Well, we don't think we have to spend it, this body does. I mean, our intention is, and that's not saying we spend the entire leftover, because we still have some money. This year that's not allocated, or it's not much. But we do have some. A little room to breathe, and we factored in Scott Lloyd for next year on the commissioner side, didn't we? Yeah, I hope so too. I thought we
Yeah,
did.
we did.
Oh, I'd seen it. Yeah, I hope so.
It's a.
Okay, good. So. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's just conversational, but I'm of the opinion that this is work that we need to do. I'm still working on it at home. I'm still getting some ideas, but I'm running out of ideas. And I don't want to back this thing up any farther, but we make these meetings go too far in the afternoon. It didn't seem like we get much done after, 1 or 2 o'clock. So, but do we have time to schedule, and do we need a special meeting? Can we have some sort of work session? I mean, my schedule's fairly open. I know, yours isn't. Sooner rather than later, because I still have the goal of, my goal was today and I kicked it down to next week, but gosh, if we. The expression I want to use is, we just gotta take action. We gotta take action. What's your schedule look like? Harvest is coming for me. I'd rather do it sooner than later. I'll make the time.
Tomorrow, I think this week.
Can we schedule a special just work session? Where we just tackle the budget, that's it? Can we do that? Is that simpler? I mean, if anything come before us, we couldn't take action on it, but I will come before.
You know, just consider this until we can, decision and. No regular meeting about the stuff that we.
And we will, I mean, the budget thing, we would never prove that in a special meeting, you better get.
No, that's fine.
Right, you do that. I'd like to have a work session sometime this week, squeeze it in. Sit on this for 3 or 4 hours, do it in the morning and just be done, all right, hash it out. It's gotta be done.
Thinking about something, talking about, thinking about. About something I can't remember what I was thinking about last night.
You got someone, an idea from last night?
And it was. Well, that's not that good. So. Third, I just was writing down one day. I went down what the mill levy was, I think this was last year, and this is what it is this year. This page, I. Did that without taking out the $703 to set aside. For great. Yes. That,
At least,
look it over and see what, if you can make any sense out of it.
okay, so we talked about this before, did you account in road and bridge? Now we're spending 850,000 more than we're taking in. Still in.
Not this year, no, we.
Well, you mean 2025? You mean what's coming?
The next year after that.
So we are, that's the thing, if you go to, that's the huge dilemma on this thing, if you go to road and bridge. This fund page. See, we're spending cash. So we're burning 350,000 fund.
So what we did last year? I don't think we spent $4 million a year. I think we only had money left over.
We probably do a little, but it's not big enough, because if I read this thing right. You know, we are spending this down, we are no longer carrying over any cash into 2026. We are spending this exactly to get our budget. And then the way we're gonna increase our general fund is by
So what resources we got available?
Mhm.
Are the. That's it, Jim. Yes, I can do it on that. other thing. Well, the resources available are $1,500.
Yep,
So then that leaves us. This much that we have to raise money for. Yeah, so then. At 9 mils. Whatever, it's what we fix us to get there. Well, that gets you to $330,000. Then get you to $400,000. Another page I had. How much you need to raise if you. Went to 4 million, or no, let's see.
Well, the problem is the cash. So the cash that we gave back put us
Right,
into a.
but some of that we still got in the, we're gonna spend, but.
so some of this road and bridge budget too for this year is money we haven't spent. I mean, if we don't spend it this year on tubes or bridges or rock or whatever they still got left, you know, then we are gonna bring some cash in.
But for last year, we gave out, I put like, I think $800 in the. Capital outlay or whatever, and we gave back $800 in the budget.
But we can't do that. This paper's right, and it's gotta be right, we can't do it. We don't have any money to give.
So we didn't, we just said that budget last year, we didn't, where did it come from last time? Much. Anyway, you can throw it away.
Well, I won't throw it away. I look at it and I just. It's all. It's becoming more clear to me, but it's still kind of blurry. I operated on the same concept. I thought we created a budget, 9 mills over, that gave us basically 3 mills of cash in the general fund. And that is the truth. It does. But at the same time, we are going 850,000 in the red in the road and bridge. And that's what this shows. We're spending cash. So at the end of the day, if everything works out, we've got our 3 mills minus that 851,000, which is 3.5 mills or whatever, and we're still going back. If the spending lines up exactly with what we have budgeted.
I don't think we, well. We don't spend $4 million, even though we're good, do we?
Yeah, you're gonna get the info. We have it. I just gave it to Richard, that one sheet. It shows what we spent. That Scott put together and all of them. Too much paper. Because we should have an actual, should have a number. Road and bridge. Budgeted receipts, maybe I'm not reading this right, total expenditures. Am I reading that right? It says in 2024, December 31st of 2024, it says $4,081,371. Is that right? Well, Bill's looking for, this is, that's the money he's going to go to the bridge. Okay. You recoil.
I do.
All right. All right, well, let's go back to what he's got here then. Road and bridge. I mean. So we spent $4,063,000 in 2024 is what it says. This is on the budget sheet.
Yeah, I know. This isn't the general budget, so I don't know how. But. Having the budget thing, that's.
Uh-huh. That's true.
I know we had left over last year and we kept some, that's included what you spend, but then when we did our budgets, then we gave 800,000 back and 400,000 out of our budget, that's, that 800,000 is using up cash that we could have had. Because we can't count on any of the cash that we have in it.
This working well.
That's what we spent.
That's it, but at the end of the year, we have enough to give them. At the end of the year, we took out what we had, I don't know what we had left over.
That would have been. Yeah, I guess, put it back in. That would have been-
So on in there,
We
and
put it in capital improvement, but then we took it back out, put it in general.
well, some of it,
Well, in September, if make a balance and whatever. Did the 800,000. Back to the cash. Then it got moved at the end of the year. But you got.
So $4 million here. This number is accurate.
You include both the back and capital.
Okay, so it shows an expense though, if you're actually only spending 3.2 million on the road, but you pulled 800 on the ballot, move it somewhere. Is that what you're trying to say?
think so, yeah.
Okay, so in reality, what Bill's saying, if that makes sense, is that at $4 million, are we looking at really only spending 3.5 million on it? Does that have is that based on Is that based on an assumption that we're gonna pull a $500,000 out of that? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm just saying, I don't think
You don't think
we spend that $4 million on the roads.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, Tammy said last week, we have $1.5 million left. Oh, Walker, I think she had budgeted for 350,000 or something.
380 is what we have for next year. When you talking about this year, I'm sorry.
Well, or I was looking, yeah, so 380 next year.
Yep.
Well, that's
Some of it passed up to you, that's Forest Road. Yeah. Like I got a disease or something when you touch it.
So I didn't wanna hit it and go, every time I grab somebody else's phone, it takes off. You know what I mean? But yours is an iPhone. I hate touching anybody that's not an iPhone. I mess them all up. I usually look at it and say, gone, what I do.
So he was mad at me in a way.
true.
Right? I'm gonna forward this. To you. On your phone, what Forrest said, will you have it? Okay. How do we attack that? Then we go to road and bridge. We just do all the math here. And 2,534,000 on stuff, like commodities. Well, is that doesn't show up as an item here. What I'm looking for, so Bill's saying we don't spend. We don't spend that much money on the roads. The reason the numbers are high, because we've been pulling money out, but it still shows up as an expense under the grid. Okay, so. I'm just gonna go back through here and make sure that contractual commodities, salaries, all that stuff, does it actually add up to the 4 million? And it must, because they usually.
$740, and they're on that amount.
Okay, so. Capital outlay, they got. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Trucks. An emergency bridge in 123. But we also have a section in here, I thought where it said we had bridge work in 200,000. Bridges. Norfolk construction, 200,000, is that the planned project?
Well, there's undoubtedly we have two of the projects, when you're small, they do.
And so emergency bridge, is that something they typically do, or is this just a way to build that capital improvement fund?
Well, capital outlay can be used throughout.
Right, but it's not that fun. That what happened because it only like emergency thing.
Emergency bridge, District 1, 2, and 3, 340,000, that's what it says. So we still have. We still have. Special equipment fund. It shows up somewhere. We still have capital.
Special equipment is just what we put aside of self individual for each. Team. at the end of the year, if we wanna put something in special machinery or special equipment, we do it ourselves, but it's not on here. It's just what we slide over, slide over.
Okay, so. So does Bill have a point, and are we? Are we actually at $4 million? Are we building cash in the road and bridge? I'm not saying we don't need to have contingency for like an emergency bridge, but is the 400,000? Is that's something where? That's not money we're necessarily gonna spend, because that's equipment improvement. Is that what that's what you mean? So you're saying you
We took it out, it's not our bids budget, this one fiscal year we're working on right now, that 400,000. On the budget year, we're on. But we dropped them, we had to wait till we see, it's not in on 2025. And we use that to get us down closer to.
Okay.
1.2 million is what road and bridge kicked back, get us as close to revenue control as we could last year.
Okay.
We did 800,000, another 4.
So actually, our budget for next year, if we don't spend the money on the road and bridge on the equipment. If we don't spend the money in commission, and that's just two things we're going to spend further. You know, that could be $1 million right there, or 300,000 or whatever, and the emergency bridge thing. Here's what I'm trying to say. See, I was looking at that budget till Bill kind of opened my eyes. And I thought the road and bridge, that was all money they were spending. I guess I didn't pay attention to the capital outlay part. That's money they might spend. That's an attempt to kind of build back the war chest, right?
Yeah, but undoubtedly, I mean. We end up using it somewhere, I mean, we've always ended up using it, because we've had something that goes down throughout the year, that's why it's.
Well, I'm not saying we don't need to do it. I'm saying for budget for it, I'm saying in actuality. We should be able to, that's $500,000 buffer. We should be able to actually generate some cash for the county next year if we pass this budget for the But we're actually improving our cash position.
It would have helped us last year if we would.
But we didn't. I mean, that's
It was that we're in the same boat last year as we're gonna be this year. If we have it left over, we're gonna have to keep it or turn back to cash or something for it to be good for us.
But so in this budget process. My goal was to not do anything that's out the way. Now we needed 9 because I thought we were gonna be, that was a balance. And then well, maybe we can make some changes on spending. I still like to try and adjust. I'm not saying the 9 is real. I think it's real, but maybe instead of 1 year, maybe we can do it in 2. Maybe we can get this down to 6 and then ask for 3 next year. And then we should be in a little better spot. And every time I hear that you're actually building cash in the budget, you know, that just makes it even easier. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, Bill, you were probably pounding your head against the wall trying to communicate this, and I just never understood it. I thought we were spending $4 million in WIP. But in reality, we weren't. You're right.
But I think that when they started doing that big budget, this was before I wonder.
But see, the last year in reality, because you needed the money this year,
Then we took a lot of,
we actually saying, okay, we are gonna spend this, because we're gonna keep it, but it's gonna be used for next year. So if you wouldn't have kept it, and if we had turned it back, then we had a huge shortfall this year.
So I'm not looking to necessarily turn any money out. That's not what but I am gonna advocate still for some sort of pause, a big limit on on the chip and seal. I think we need to get, I think what we're seeing was some staffing issues, some things that are going on. And the desire to change, at least amongst, I'm not looking at Rich here, between 1 and 2, you know, I want to change the structure. I think he does too. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we just said, all right, we're gonna make some changes here. And we're gonna figure this out. And the biggest thing that our crews do is chip seal. I think they do the most planning and effort, most chipping and sealing. We're just gonna let that, maybe we won't kill it all, but we're just gonna let that. Gonna minimize that. We're gonna take this next 18 months to kind of build a new system, and then we're gonna hit it hard the next year. That's what I'm hoping to do. So I would like to take some money out. I mean, I'm still hoping to And I'd like to do this for 6.5 mil. That's where I'm at. I'm not a very good negotiator. I'd like to do this for 6.5 mil increase. That you can pull some out of road and bridge. I still think you gotta do some stuff in the courthouse here. And I think we can find it. And I think we can get this budget and move along. And Bill just found, you just found $500,000 in there that we haven't necessarily decided to spend. We might.
But so here, we got it down to, what, 3,700, and the levy for the roads, not that much greater than it was last year.
We might. Yeah. Right, if we can, that's what I'm trying to get to, you're hauling rock. Now, if we need to haul rock from Dublin because it's the best thing to do. Maybe we say, all right, guys, we're gonna haul that good rock from Dublin. And we're gonna do, we got 4,000 on the ground. You contracted for 2,000, instead of using 16,000 ton next year. Maybe we find out a way, let's use 5,000 ton. We've got it in hand. It's good rock. Some of it, I guess it'd be 6 if we contract for 2. We need to use the old stuff because it just goes out of shape. Isn't that right?
About 2 to 3.
Okay, so we need to get the old stuff laid out. But we're gonna do 6,000 ton of chip seal. We're gonna determine which roads we want to do. And the roads that need the most attention, then we just quit. Is that a plan? We could stop buying rain. We could use the stuff we already got. We regroup. And then we do what we need to do next summer. And then we hit the ground running the year fall.
Like what he said, if you buy it cheaper this year than you can next year. Why is it money?
Well, you tell me what, and the cost of money, it means something, and,
So that's over again, here, something money.
I'm trying to, my goal still is to try and soften the blow here. We can, I think we can do it, I think it makes sense, and that doesn't mean that next year at this time. That we're not in the same boat, but I don't think we're asking for 9, I think next year we're trying to get that 3 or even half, unless the property values go and let you know. But I just think it ties us down.
I think our number will probably. Yeah, a little our property back, we maybe, our bill levy may be back down just to where it is right now. Sure.
We don't see the crop prices changing much, we don't see the line changing much.
But remember, the farmland is that rolling 8-year average based on the individual. It probably will. It will. Well, taxes don't go down. I don't know. I mean, I think that's. Bill, you made my day. You really did. I think that's workable. I mean, are you guys okay with trying to do something in the road and bridge? I mean, I know that the instinct is just to stay on that schedule because we don't want to get. But about the only way we can save real money and make some changes in road and bridge is if we attack the chip seal, because it's the biggest place we spend money. 6,000 ton is, it's gotta be like 35% of what they normally do. Right? %37.5%. So if you did that times 90, that'd be 34 months. What do you think we could task? That'd be times 25,000. That's $850,000 worth of material, some of which we already know, which is rock. Some of which we're buying, we'd have to buy some more. You think we can get our crews in line and say, of the next round of chip seal, we're just gonna hit 34 of the miles that need the most attention? Can you do that and make it work? What do you think?
34 miles total.
Well, instead of doing 90, we do, I mean, the money adds up, we do 50.
Okay, so here she from Hamps, she has $380,000.
Well, that'd be more money in the budget, actually. Yeah, because he's buying 2,000 ton, you said your district's buying 2,000?
Yeah.
So you're spending 50,000, probably, ish. So, and then we've got 4,000 ton on the ground. It's not in the right spot, probably, but we got it on the ground. And I'd have to talk to the guys too. We asked Richard, you know, I'm sure they don't want to get down to zero. They probably want to have some sort of buffer.
If we got like, well, voluntary, what would you know, we don't know, last time.
But if we said that, we're gonna use existing materials, we're gonna attack this thing. Based on the rock that we are committed to, which is 4,000 on the ground, 2,000 we're gonna buy, so we're gonna do 34 miles of road. That are on the schedule to be done next anyway, let's do the most traveled 34 miles, and then it's, sorry.
Just thinking about if we were to. If we take the 400,000 out like we did last year, out of the capital. And then we go to the 4-year rotation, which is say this $350,000. That's roughly a $3 million.
How do you implement your 4-year rotation? How do you make that? What's the?
Then we just have to go look at the road and it'd be kind of the same thing what we're doing now, if we can find just the one the road, usually we'll probably will think. We'll probably end up saving more money, but we're probably gonna do percentage that we're talking about, if we look at them properly. But I just, that's roughly where it would be at. When I think about the 3 mil, with strength down.
That's yours.
I mean, just. Then again, that is. You know, road and bridge is doing something like that. But we're the biggest budget, that's why it's happening, but if we had all the money we gave back, we wouldn't worry about our road, I mean, we'd have our roads fixed a lot of them. That are up, I said again, but that's happened for so many years, that's just for what's happened.
The temptation again is to keep looking back and.
But I mean, we say we're trying somewhat doing the same thing, except we're real savings in there that takes us back to the same budget we're operating on this year. And if we have left over, it's gonna be plus to us. You know, if there's budget left over at the end of the year.
We are especially conservative. So we took it to 6.5 years and. We are especially conservative in our change. There's some items in those from the road and bridge budget. We're actually still advancing, we're still going up, but we're accumulating if we change like what you're saying. Just go to a 4-year spread.
Granted, I think we're probably gonna be less than that next year because we're not gonna do the 240 and 320 a ton. We're not gonna do it, period. We're trying to save some of that money back so we can look at getting that road fixed.
I think Donovan County had a bridge going. I would say it's an emergency bridge. It's Western Highlands, been out for 3 years. They waited for state funding and they finally got a cost share and it's supposed to be up by the end of March of next year. So that's an emergency bridge. I mean, I hated that because we use that road quite a bit. I thought it worked. They waited.
That was the point. That hospital wouldn't have money.
They're waiting for the funding.
They had cash. They have a lot more cash.
So I ate Chinese dinner with the commissioner, and I just happened to see him there, and that's what he said, and his point was, well, would you rather had the bridge or waited for 3 years and get $900,000? Nice. Now, what is the right answer? But, I'm just telling you that there are other counties that are doing some things that are fairly unconventional to try and make ends meet. And I think with what you found with and what's going on Road and Bridge, I really think we can do this. We can minimize what we're spending next year. I think that's responsible. If we do 35 miles, if we jump to a 4-year spread, say if we do the 35 miles, if I'm wrong, 4-year spread is just the killer of every road. Then the only thing we've done is expose ourselves to about 55 miles. You know, that, and not all those are gonna flood. Because if we get back on this thing next year and say we gotta do it every 3 years, well, I mean, we're right back on rotation, it's fine, we're gonna have to catch up 55 miles. And I don't think the roads are set, construct, especially if they target the ones that are in more shit.
We'll know about what skipping one road does at the two 90th out here that we skipped this year, that we've been doing every year. If it self-destructs on us this next year, we'll know.
Okay,
So,
go ahead.
I thought the road went by our house was getting bad this year. Wasn't, I mean, it hasn't been real good, but they held a lot of grain out of it this year. Then, I mean, these were the least, it's one south this year. Not all of them, but quite a few of them.
Are they going
Yeah.
to, one of the people from on your way and stuff?
Well, if you just go down that way, you can get on K 20. Well, especially when that bridge is out of Willis, maybe that's stop at Willis.
Okay.
They go.
Well, so that, in Manhattan, they got no choice beyond the county road. They just need to take the shortest road.
Yeah, and they're both about the same
They're
distance.
about the same.
So,
We run into that when they're hauling out of Padonia, if they want to come up Petro, they could take 290 and go 2.5 miles, or 3 miles.
Here's where I'm at.
Yeah.
This is great discussion. You look tired. We're not making decisions here. Can we schedule a work session sometime this week? We've got, I think. Let's work a plan on the road and bridge. Let's see what we can find. And let's come back, let's spend 3 or 4 hours, let's try to get it. And then we can. Does that sound, I mean, it's taken a lot of time. I appreciate the time we're spending both of them. And I mean, everybody here, we all got other things to do. I think we can do it and I think. I just think we can. Nikki, what do we have for a work session available sometime this week? It works with you. I'm not gonna say, because I have nothing, no events. I think it rains on Wednesday again, so that makes me very long. Yeah, that's.
was on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
I know they borrow it down. Probably. That's in the afternoon. Or-
Tell me, you're the man.
We just stick to the morning and Friday.
Yeah, we won't go out. We just.
Which was Thursday, Friday.
Friday.
Friday morning, start at 8:10. You want to start at 8:30? Does that give you a chance to do anything? In the morning? Oh, okay, just start at 10. And it'll just be a work session. Okay, I make the motion, we have a work session. To go over budget issues Friday morning, we'll start at 8:30 and we'll go to noon essentially. I mean, the latest possible will adjourn is noon. We will discipline ourselves with a hard stop time. Okay, and is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. Schedule it, and if we need it, we'll use it. If we don't. Yeah, and that is the end. Okay, is there anything else that we need to talk about? Do we want to talk more about the Austin Park thing, or do you want to go home and read that or think about it?
I got doing, I don't know, most of the stuff we were with, but I got to do.
I talked to Gabe Rose and I talked to Jason. Give the other guy, he's new, so he wouldn't go in. So Nemaha County, I guess, lost their administrator, he resigned, he retired, and he's now Austin Parker is actually the administrator. They said, no, that is that much, yeah. So the guy can wear a lot of hats, I think he's. I mean, I'd like, but it's spending money, we don't have to do it now, but I'd like to tee that up for next Monday. For next Monday, then to make the final decision on Monday. That work? Is there anything else we need to talk about, before we go different directions?
I got one down. Soon as this budget's put to rest, I will be tendering my resignation.
Really?
But that won't come with a letter to the governor, a letter to my resignation. The latest I'll go is till October first. A lot of prayer, a lot of concerns, so.
Okay. That's your right, but gosh, way to say that to the bitter end.
Well, I didn't want to start with it. But. Thank you. I guess the governor starts with her. Governor has to accept this extension for, I looked at all of, she has to accept it and then refer it back to you to give instructions for you to. Go to the Republican. And then the Republican Party will appoint.
The newspaper guys go on.
Yeah.
You want.
Okay.
But it just. Right now, my focus is gonna be in the church.
Well, we're asking a lot of you here. I appreciate what you've done. You taught me a lot. Bill, the pressure is on you now. Good golly, you're gonna be the. Do you notice
I mean,
any?
I mean, I know that I got told, I said, I wanna finish this budget out, I wanna get through the budget, I'm not gonna leave people.
Oh, sure, no, I hope not.
But. If something,
Okay.
I have some major things I have to transfer to people. The chain, from a letter to road, but I just felt. it was Fair to let you guys know.
Appreciate that.
I don't wanna walk in one day and say I'm done and walking out.
No, golly.
You know what I'm not. Done before, you know. It's been a.
Okay, I mean, I don't know what else to say, but that's a big one. And you'll make that official whenever it's time,
Like,
but the board is gonna operate like you're full-fledged, because you still are.
just.
We'll just
I
roll on.
wanted to everybody to know. That way. And if I'm here and done October first, that's when we're going to be gone 2 weeks on vacation. And get away.
Okay, no,
I'll be-
Rich, that's well, good for you, good for you. It's, I'm sure you prayed about that a lot, and I'm sure you got direction from the Lord, and that's what he said, so that's what you're gonna do. Appreciate you telling us.
Finally got peace about it last night, so.
Okay, and I'm smiling because I'm nervous, that's my
There's
reaction.
one question yet. So on this. We're just going to not make any action, right? Let him sit there and. All it off and go on.
I'm not sure, I mean, what's your pleasure? That disrupts the entire pay scale for sure,
Right,
but you don't wanna lose a good part-time guy either, if your foreman can use some help, maybe you can keep him around. What do you think?
I mean, you're in a lot of hard, but you have to do something, but.
I mean, I don't have any trouble giving this, but it's gonna mess up everybody else.
There's some things a rate scale for it. That's, you just.
Yeah.
You would.
You got.
That means all the part-time until.
Can you just make him part-time, human 7?
Yes, you don't, still.
But then we do the very same thing for someone else.
Like,
How do you do it for the summer help? Then?
it's numbers. You know, just take a number.
For summer, for this, the part-time.
So a range for part-time.
Right, Mr. Chairman. I guess that would be what we would have to do.
Yeah. Well. So this involves a pretty big structural thing. I don't mean the analyst answer, I don't know.
But I would just think about knowing.
That's fine. That's okay, and we are in communication with him.
I can be,
Somewhat.
man, I talked to him, but
Why don't you talk to your foreman, see what your foreman thinks,
he talked to me and so.
tell him what happens if we make changes, how it disrupts the entire system. And see what, and we'll come back to it on.
And this is just how I've been here, in here, do that.
If it can- You're right, Nate, we're letting the wrong people steer the ship too. We are a little bit of a situation there, but it's nothing we can't get out of a different year. You don't feel like you have to have something.
But the living feature, I mean, you can do a snowboard. Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Might put that up for. And put it in echo record, won't that we
Right, you,
got one more time.
Right.
Achieve that.
What you got one moving?
Well,
Well, figure that out.
so right now, he won't be doing. If we're gonna ask him to stay the course until we get through the.
so this is more than what you're gonna get, so.
I just didn't know what my guy was at. I didn't know if he was. It was the same right now or not. That's all I was gonna have a look about it. I don't know.
We will table it and carry it forward to Monday.
All right, all right.
But you have one job to do, you know what that is. And we have, I guess if nothing else needs to come before the meeting, we're ready to adjourn that night. And with the idea, we're having a work session on Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, well, I would move we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.